All right, preparing to live stream.
As we are.
Yep, there we go. All right, preparing to live stream.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining this stream today. Hopefully we're up and live. But I'm Ryan with Project to Payment, and for those of you that maybe haven't checked us out yet, Project to Payment is a product that we built for small home services based businesses that are looking for an affordable, simple, and more efficient way to run their day-to-day. I'm going to give a quick walkthrough of the system today, show you how it works, show you how to navigate some of the various modules, and maybe provide a couple tips on how to get the most out of the system. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will get to them. But with that, we're going to go ahead and dive in. And today, so I'm logging into our desktop version, which is mobile friendly, but apps are also available with it in the App Store and the Google Play Store. So for those of you that are maybe on your mobile devices more throughout the day, I encourage you to leverage those. Might be a little more efficient than the web application on your mobile device. So logging in, you're going to see this is kind of again the interface that I am brought to in the projects, schedules, and customers. These are the three tabs that most of our customers, I would say, live in and predominantly do most of their day-to-day business. Projects being the jobs, schedules, so any work that's already been accepted and what you have on the docket for today, and then customers. And I'll take a look at each one of these and then kind of go through the flow of building out a project and kind of how that starts from start to finish and kind of completing that cycle to picking up the money from your customer. So you see within our schedule this week, right now we have an ongoing recurring cleaning. So a cleaning business might be using the software and have Karen's cleaning house and it's recurring. This one happens to be every week. It's already going on. That one's set up to auto bill at the conclusion. But this afternoon we have a 1 o'clock ceiling fan installation. So we'll take a look at that. We'll say, okay, we have a ceiling fan installation. My customer is Ryan Test. Looks like we're going to the studio apartments in Wisconsin. And we are just doing a ceiling fan install, which includes the mounting bracket, wiring, attachment, and probably removal of the old and disposal of the old unit. So within the scheduling, we can see what's going on within our day and or week for ourselves or any of our employees. And you can also schedule directly from this by clicking the date and creating a project or creating an estimate. Customers, this is going to house all of your customer information as well as any prospects that might have come in through your website or just those that you might have engaged and entered into the system. It allows you to do email blasts to those customers. So again, you have offer holiday light or holiday decoration installation. You might want to send something out if it's outside of maybe your core competencies that you were landscaping during the year or lawn mowing or providing other services. You can reach out to those customers to let them know that, hey, I also offer this. Let me know. I'll give you a discount. So you can do email blast directly from this environment, but it also allows you to see the history of your customers, any work that you've done for them, any files or images that may pertain to work that you've done for this customer. Obviously, you can leave some notes, but you'll be able to see any projects or jobs that you've done. Obviously, a test environment, so I got a lot of different work going on here. Payment methods, invoices, so any invoices that are outstanding that have been paid to you, you can view within the customer module. And then files as well. So any images that you want to store, I have a few here, but a closet, if you're organizing business, perhaps you took a before and after picture, a wall with converging doors, steps that you built, a garage door opener that you've installed. So different images that you can associate with the customer, whether those were items that you provided to them or, again, those before and after pictures that were associated with the work that you've done. So we're going to jump back to projects. And within projects, this is where you would create and all of your estimates and active accepted work are going to live. So you'll see that we have the three tabs at the top. active projects, so anything that's been accepted and work that's been either completed or active and going to be worked on or going to be worked on in the future. We have project estimates, so those estimates that you provided some information to the customer, you bid out the job, but maybe haven't converted it, hasn't been accepted yet. Obviously, those are great follow-up opportunities. And then project requests, and these would come in through your website, so we can integrate directly to your website to have kind of describe your project, what's your contact information, put in your address, and then those file back into project payment. You would get notifications that someone is interested in your services, and then you can kind of bid it out and maybe take the sales effort straightforward from there. So estimates and projects, I'm going to jump right in. We'll go create an estimate and then we'll turn it into a project. So today we're just going to do a garage door install. So we'll say garage door install. If the customer is new, you can add that information for the live stream purposes. Today, I am just going to choose myself because I know I'm in the system. And we're going to create an estimate. Data is all populated. And when we're bidding out the job, each company is going to be a little bit different. You can create a new item each time and say, we're going to do X, Y, and Z for you if it's going to be a custom bid. If you want, you can store that information in your item library, which is right over here. And we could search for garage. A couple different ways to do this. Obviously, you can do time and materials if you want to break down the estimate and the bid that way. You can do kind of a flat rate and say, here's what it is for the opener and my time and work that way. So each business is a little bit different, but we're going to go ahead and go with the opener and the installation. And so we're going to have a couple different line items. So we have a Chamberlain garage door opener, belt drive opener that we're going to be installing. We're going to remove and dispose of the old one, install the new one, make sure it works, and get all the keypads and everything up and running. So the total is going to be $440. Next step, if you want to take a down payment, you can. Bigger projects, deck builds, those types of things, probably want to consider it. You can take a percentage or a flat dollar amount. Default message to your customer, and then customer notification. So we're going to send this out. So estimate's going to be sent out to the customer. They're going to get information on the details of the estimate, which is going to include some of your branding, which you can do within the settings. So your logo, your contact information, any disclaimers can be included on that estimate. And then it kind of lives in that environment. Obviously, there's a process that goes from the estimate's one piece, and you want to close that sale and get the job, accepted job. And that's when it converts to a project. Now, the customer can do that directly through email that they receive from the system. So they'll get an email. They might talk it over with a roommate or spouse or someone else and say, yeah, let's go ahead and move forward. Sometimes getting them to click and accept it might not always work. They might just reach back out to you and say, yeah, we'd love to get this started for Friday. Well, you can manually approve within the system versus asking them to go directly to the email that you had sent to accept the job. So we'll say, yeah, how does 10 o'clock on Friday sound? Perfect. It's only going to take us an hour. We'll go ahead and update the project and approve. So that's when it's going to create a job. It's going to go on the calendar for schedule for Friday at 10 o'clock. And the system is going to be set up based on, again, how you set up your business settings. But we're going to notify them. I believe we have it set up in this one the day before to let them know that we're coming out. And if anything has changed, please let us know. And then the morning of. So you're really kind of at the set it and forget it stage after you've been able to set up that information for the customer. So back to the projects tab, and you'll see that we have the active project for 440. Again, you can view the project or work to be done, but within the schedule, you'll see that now it'll be set up for Friday. And I'm the only employee of this environment, so there's no other filter by employees. It's assigned to the owner operator in this case. But if it was assigned to a different employee, they would be able to see it. We do allow you to see your estimates too. So if you've bid out estimates and you've put dates on them, you can do that. obviously great follow-up opportunities. And then again, if you're working on weekends, you can either set it to the 5-day work week or the entire calendar week. So once we've worked on the project, I guess I could have went through the scheduling module, but once we've worked on the project and we've completed it, you have the ability, first off, if you were there and they wanted you to replace the garage door track, let's say, or you noticed that it was rusted out and you should put new uprights on the track. You can go into the items, update the project, add those items in, and then go ahead and complete it. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and invoice for the work that was done. So we're going to go ahead, create the invoice. In this case, again, one garage door unit and installation was $250. You can collect on site if you want to collect from the customer at that point. We do allow for credit card and bank draft. So if they want to pay by e-check, they can do that. This customer again is a repeat customer, so they've used the Visa ending in 1111 before. We can go ahead and just say, is that the card you want us to charge? Great, you can do that. You can take payment now. Otherwise, you can take it obviously directly from them if it's a new customer, or you can send it directly for payment. They weren't home, you weren't able to collect. We're going to go ahead and send them the invoice for which they can pay then on their side. Now, with our invoicing, we do offer, and depending on the industry that you're in, we do offer a tip functionality. So if you'd like to add a line item for tips, you can do so, as well as surcharging. So I know we get questions on some, again, build it into their pricing, just assuming that everyone's going to pay with a credit card, and those that don't. Obviously, there's a margin pickup there, but for those that want to be very detailed with how they're billing to their customers, you can add a 1%, 2%, 3% surcharge if a credit card is being used. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the invoice. So the invoice for the 440 will have your logo, contact information, and then it would allow for the customer to pay. And again, even in the customer facing environment, if they've used a card in the past, it will allow them to choose that card. Or if they say, you know what, I no longer have that card, or I get more miles with this particular American Express, they can change the card. But and then I do have tipping functionality added here in here. So you can see that they can offer to provide you with the tip if that's something that you want to choose to do. And they're going to go ahead and pay the 440. And with that, the job is complete. Invoice is secured, and you will have the project complete. So really as easy as that, very simple and an easy way to get the project built and provide detailed information directly to the customer, and then kind of close the loop when it comes to the payment interaction. So take payments. So again, trying to be somewhat efficient with this demo and not keep you around too long, but take payments. We have instances where businesses want to take a payment outside of the estimate project flow and just say, hey, I just need to take a payment from this customer for doing X, Y, and Z. You can go to take a payment and kind of takes you outside of that that process of building out a project or estimate and going right to just accepting a payment. So this would allow you to accept a payment. You can create QR codes for the amount. If you want to just send them a link and don't necessarily want to create an invoice, you can say, hey, you owe me $25, copy the link, send it to them, or they can scan it directly from your mobile device and make a payment that way as well. The item library I touched on earlier for instances where you want to retain certain information. Again, I had the two that I had built out earlier, but if there's other applications where you want to do fall cleanup, or you have, let me just see something that's used more commonly, mulching. Black mulch, it's 170 a yard, 150 a yard, 130 a yard for pine, and then red's 170 as well. So you can store those so it's easy and quick for you to build out those estimates. But again, you can also create them on the fly. So if you're doing custom quotes every time, you don't necessarily need to save them to your environment because you may never use them again. or you can save them and alter them if you need to as well. So you can save kind of the gist of it and then kind of modify it based on the job that you're bidding out. Invoices, I'm going to give you an overview of all of the invoices. Again, the one we just went through has been paid, status 440. We have a few, you can obviously different instances where you can cancel transactions for whatever reason, not overly common. Past due, probably a little more common than we'd like to see, but with past due invoices in the settings module, we will reach out to them based on how often you want us to reach out to them. But once they're, if it's due upon receipt, and they don't pay it, we can reach out to them weekly to say, hey, remember we did some work for you. You never paid us. Click here to do so. Just to kind of stay in front of them, making sure that they're closing the loop on that receivable. And then obviously anything that's been paid, you'll be able to report on within your payment activity and always go back and view. So if a customer reaches out to you a year later and says, hey, is there any way you can send me a receipt of the work that you did for me back in November, or I guess December it is now? You can go ahead and pull up that information and send it to them. And they, again, if any emails were sent to them and they have access to the project, they have access to the invoice, they'll be able to pull that up from their email as well. Payment activity, this is going to give you everything that's coming through. If you've been in business in the past, you know that sometimes it takes a day or two for payments to settle. So we're going to show anything that's approved, pending. That's the one we just processed today. Just like if you swipe your credit card at the gas station, you have a pending charge in your card, which then settles a day or two later, depending on when that is. But we'll give you an overview on all of the transactions that were processed and kind of their status as far as approved and settled or declined for whatever reason. And then the type of transaction, whether it's Visa, check, cash, or other payment. If you want to close close the invoice because you took a Venmo or Zelle payment. And then finally, just some of the settings I mentioned earlier. Biggest one, probably QuickBooks integration. Most of our small businesses utilize QuickBooks for their accounting services. Great accounting system, maybe not so great with some of the job bidding aspects of what you do within your job, but necessary evil when it comes to making your books right and getting that information over to your CPA. So easy QuickBooks integration to sync up. I mentioned the brand settings earlier. If you have logos, different color schemes that you want to have within your invoices, your projects, you're able to update those. Addresses. The Google review link, ultra important. We know that 87% of businesses go online to review a company before they reach out to them, and I think 76% of those use Google to do so. So it's a high number. You want to make sure when we're invoicing out to customers, we're automatically requesting that information from them. So your Google review link being in here, if you had a 5-star experience, please feel free to review us. And you can resend those out if someone didn't review and you wanted to go back and do a Google review campaign. You said, hey, these 6 we had great rapport with, the work was great, they had recommendations, but they recommended us to other people, but they never reviewed us online. Would love if you could do so. And you can actually just direct them to the link or send it directly through project to payment. Obviously, your subscription settings, payment pages. If you want to turn your website into a payment tool as well, payment acceptance tool, you have the ability to add. And again, this is our fictitious website here, Fantastic Field Services. So you can add specific services that they might be interested in selecting. The request a quote all over the screen. You can put them in a variety of different ways as slide outs or just in the body of the main website, but also the make a payment option. So again, this would be a great tool for, again, variety of uses here, of course, but you can drive people directly to your website to process a payment. They can enter in the invoice number, any notes associated with it. And then again, the fabulous tip option. Tipping's everywhere. If you want to add tips to your repertoire and put it on your payments, you can certainly do so. And then the invoice settings. This is probably the invoice and projects we'll look at quick, but this is the due upon receipt, net 30, invoice reminders we want on, And then the biweekly. So we have it set up for biweekly. So if they don't pay it after the 30 days, every 2 weeks we're gonna reach out to them until we get paid. So we can kind of determine and fine tune how you want to reach out to them. Hopefully you're not dealing with too many aging receivables, but in the event that you are, you can we can help you kind of nudge them forward to processing or to making whole on those payments. And then the project reminders, I mentioned these earlier. The start reminders, super important. I mean, just a heads up, even the recurring ones. If you're cleaning a house every week or doing something, mowing lawn every 2 weeks, it is helpful to send a day prior, morning of, just, hey, friendly reminder, we're coming out. If something has changed, please let us know. And then you can obviously make adjustments on the schedule accordingly. So the project reminders are an important piece to making sure that the customer communication is spot on, and obviously you don't want to be showing up for might be able to book other work during that time if it has been changed or canceled. So that is our and again, full help centers and merchant portals, and we get a ton of great feedback from our merchants through the suggested feature that goes right to our product team. But thank you for joining the live stream today. I encourage you, if in the description there is Giving 2025 is the 3 months free code. Give it a try, poke around, add some things, see how it works for you. And feel free to reach out if you're interested in a more customized demo to your business. Our sales team is happy to do that. But if there are any questions, you want to check it out, project2payment.com. So that's project, the number 2, payment, just as it's showing up here.com. You can get some more information on features that are offered. Obviously, that's where you can sign up and check it out for yourself for 90 days for free. And then and after that, it's just $20 a month. So very affordable, even if you decide to keep it after in the long term. But again, thank you for joining the stream today. I appreciate it, and happy National Giving Day, and hope to see you soon.